Let's lower the jack. Job done.
What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be installing a lift kit and rear shocks on this 2004 Chevy Silverado 1500. It's two-wheel drive. I've owned this truck for about 4 years, but it's just now time that's coming. We're going to lift it a little bit, kind of level it, install new rear shocks, and install new bigger all-terrain tires, and we're going to see how it's all going to look and come together. First, I want to say a huge thank you to MaxPeedingRods for providing the 3-inch lift kit and the rear shocks. They reached out and they said, hey, we'd like to send you some parts. Which vehicle do you want to have parts for? And I said, I have the good old Silverado that needs some love. So they sent me the rear shocks and the front and rear lift kit. So let's look at the lift kit really quick. These are front spring spacers, so these are gonna lift the front, and these are the rear blocks. They're gonna lift the rear. Okay, and the rear blocks come with extended U-bolts. These, because you know the old U-bolts will be short once we install the longer blocks below the leaf springs. So these will be needed to install them to the rear. Now the rear is good, but my truck sits now it's on an inclined driveway, so you won't see it as much, but the front is much lower than the rear. So I'm thinking I'm not gonna lift the rear and just lift the front, so I level the truck. So it's gonna be basically a leveling kit along with the rear shocks. So these spring spacers will basically sit on top of the spring, and they will lift the truck, and that will make it level with the rear. And yeah, it's gonna be looking flat and nice. Okay, let's take a look at these rear shocks, and man, they feel such a heavy duty. They feel heavy, and yeah, they feel like they're well made. I mean, of course, we're not sure how long they're gonna last, but hopefully they last a good bit, because they feel like they're well made and they look really good. Yeah, so check this out. And MaxPeedingRods have a ton of parts for a ton of vehicles. So if you want to check them out, I will put their website in the description below, so you can go to their website and take a look at what they have. And let's get working on the Silverado. Yep. All right, since they gave us some goodies, their sticker is definitely going on that truck right there. All right, just push it in, make sure it's nice and sticking on there. And pull the clear. There it is. Okay, so I got the truck now in the garage, getting it ready to start working on it. Let's measure how high the front is from the ground, so we can see after we install the spacers how much height we gain over stock. So as you can see right now, like I said, the front, this is on level grounds now, the front is much lower than the rear. The truck is tilted forward, downward in the front. So as you can see, the rear is much higher. I will measure it too to show you, but hopefully we gain enough to make it level across the front and the rear. So let's measure the height from the both front and rear. Let's see what we got. Okay, so measuring the front across the center of the wheel, and we got 32 inches exactly. Let's go measure the rear. And on the rear, across the center of the wheel, we got exactly 35.5. That is 3.5 inches higher than the front. So hopefully this kit will get us level from 32 inch to 35. I hope so, but we'll see what we get. All right, now it's time we install these beautiful looking rear shocks instead of the old ones with the 130,000 miles on them. And once we pull the old ones out, we're gonna compare, see how both compress by hand and how they look next to each other. Okay, now to pull it off, all you need is a 21mm wrench and a 21mm socket, or just both 21s. Should come right out like that. The top bolt. And it's that easy. So there it is. Okay, so now comparing new versus old, let's push them down, see how they flex back up. See that? This one has 130,000 miles on it. It's not even coming back up. So let's install this thing. Rear shocks are so easy to install. You literally just 2 bolts and you'll be done. It's the most satisfying thing you can do on a truck to improve the ride. So let's get this one in. It's right in. You know what? I'm gonna flip it. Oh, so I can see this logo on the outside. All right, let's push it in. Yeah, it's pretty hard. Oh, good. Yes, there it is. And check this out. Looking awesome. Okay, so I got the truck all jacked up on jack stands safely and ready to go. So let's start tearing apart the front suspension and seeing what the easiest way would be to insert these spacers above the springs. Okay, so I have everything torn apart in the front end. It was quite a bit of work, and I got the spring here removed. So this spacer is basically gonna sit just on top, and then the spring go back in its place, and we put everything back together. Now for this job on the Silverado, it looks like you're gonna need a spring compressor, and I went ahead and rented one from the parts store, and we're gonna have to use that. It's gonna be really hard to fit the spring back in with the spacer without the spring being compressed, so just keep that in mind if you're doing this job. Okay, anyways, now it's a matter of putting everything back together, and we should be doing good. Okay, now after a lot of hard work, finally the spacers are in. You can see it right there, and I also installed some new extended rough country shocks. You can see them right there. But yeah, very important thing I want to say, very, very important. For this job, if you have the 2-wheel drive and you're trying to put a spacer in, you need 2 guys for this job. 2 guys, one helper, and you need very heavy duty spring compressors. Don't buy the cheap ones that they turn into an explosives, and you don't want this to be a dangerous situation for you. Now what I did, I had some cheap spring compressors. They didn't work. They kept on slipping, and then I called my neighbor, who's graciously a pro race car builder, and he brought his heavy duty tools and he helped me, and we were able to get it in. Very difficult job for one person. You need 2 with very good tools and very heavy duty, high quality, good brand spring compressor. Be super careful. This is a disclaimer. Do it at your own risk. It was very tough job. Now with that out of the way, I think now we are ready to put the wheels on. Everything is reassembled properly, torqued. The upper ball joint, the tie rod, the brake caliper, everything is torqued properly, and I re-greased all the fittings. As you can see, still kind of greased up. And yeah, we are ready to put the new wheels and tires onto the vehicle. But before, I want to measure the difference, because at the beginning of the video, we measured the height of the truck with the stock wheels. Now we're putting on bigger, higher new wheels. So I want to measure the difference from the new wheels to the old wheels, so I can subtract that and tell you exactly how much the lift has given us on its own. Because the wheels are going to raise it even more, but we want to know what the difference is, so we can remove that from the height, so we know if that makes sense. Okay, so I'll measure the height difference between the new wheels and the old wheels, and then put the wheels on, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so the new wheels are about 4 inches higher than the old wheels, so we're going to consider that when we do the final calculation. All right, this is the moment of truth. Let's do this.
Lower the jack. Job done. Okay.
Okay, so when we started, the front was at 32 inches, and now we're exactly at 3 feet or 36 inches, which is really nice. So I think if we, between 32 and 36 is about 4 inches. And if we remove 2 inches from, the center of the wheel to the top of the wheel, because the bottom 2 inches don't matter. Remember, the height difference was 4 inches between the wheels. So we use half of that, because we're considering from the top of the center of the wheel to the body. So if you remove 2 inches from the 4 inches difference, so the lift gave us exactly 2 inches, which is really good. So we were at 32 inches, now we're at 36 inches. So 2 inches of gain in the front. Okay, now looking at the back is actually at 36 inches as well now. So it's like 36 and a quarter. So we're basically almost 100% level. So 36 and a quarter in the back, and 36 about and a quarter in the front too. So we're 100%, we are perfectly level. Like if we look at the truck, it's almost 100% level, which is really nice. Okay, and that's how it looks on level grounds. I think it looks pretty good. Mind you, I only installed the front lift, not the rear, so it looks perfectly level. So the rear only got some shocks, the front got the lift. I think it looks very good. With that being said, all right, now in terms of how it drives, I think it drives really good. It's a little bit stiffer in the front, and that's to be expected. We leveled the front, we didn't touch the rear, we just put new shocks on the rear, so the rear is smoother, the front is a little bit stiffer even with new rough country shocks. But I think overall drives really nice. Okay, with that being said, I hope this video was helpful to you. If it is, please give it a big thumbs up, please subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.